what's up? Thought I would do a short second cup. There's just the second cup, and I keep getting distracted, and I had my first cup earlier and was gonna get started, and then, sorry, I just delay. So, episode 2, the second cup. Doing things a little different today. I figured out my audio issue from yesterday, which was I picked the wrong output on that radial DI. I had just left the cable plugged into whatever normally goes to my amp and didn't switch it to the actual amp sim side of it. So that was my bad. But today I was going to rectify that and demonstrate that I actually figured that out. But my internet is down, so I'm doing this on my phone for a quickie. Today I'm just going through my JSX into a Glenwood 205 custom cabinet, which was made for me by Glenwood Enclosures. My good friend Kevin made these for me a few years back, and they're beautiful and they sound awesome. This one in particular is one of my favorites that he's made for me. It's really good sounding. And I have the Universal Audio aux amp top box just to attenuate it a little bit, because you probably can't see the amp from the phone, but it's cranked. So I've got it pretty well attenuated, which is pretty nice. Otherwise, there's no way I'd be able to sit this close to 120 watts of PV power, because everybody knows a PV watt's louder than most watts, because that's just how it is. So anyway, yeah, a little bit of a hectic day. And as I said yesterday with this whole thing, this is really about me being accountable and just getting up and doing some things. So before I jump into other things, I like to make sure I've played a little bit of guitar. Always inspiring to play into a real tube amp, so that's kind of what I'm getting after today. I think you could tell I bent this thing out of tune as I was getting into a petulant frenzy with that little bluesy number. There's the culprit. Better. So anyway, yeah, that was just a blues. I don't even know if it was 12 bar. It was probably around there, and then I probably took some liberties over what I was doing, but I treated everything kind of just like a dominant chord. Hey Mike, what's going on, man? Good to see you, brother. So yeah, this again is just sort of it's not much of a live stream like I'm playing a concert thing, but just to make myself accountable and put a little pressure on that I get up every day and I do a little bit of something. A little bit of warming up, a little bit of practicing, a little bit of conceptualizing. Got a little bit of a busy day today, so that's why I'm starting a little bit late on this. And I almost bailed on it. When my internet was down, I was like, you know what, that's probably a good indication that I shouldn't do it. But I'd rather jump on and do a quick, short one of these to post. I think the consensus is, from some of the feedback from yesterday's, we're kind of blathered on a little bit. There's a couple friends of mine, Paul Catapano and Charlie Korch, were in the chat. So we chatted about a bunch of things with recording and other things. So we kind of let it go on for about an hour, which I think is too long. I think these things being short, just a little bit of playing, a little bit of talking, a whole lot of coffee drinking, at least a second cup's worth, which get back on that task. So yeah. So anyway, I'm just using the phone. This is my iPhone 8 Plus, just using this camera and its microphone. So hopefully sounded all right and not too loud. Usually the phone does pretty good with this, and I've got the attenuation on this thing set at 2, so it's pretty quiet even though I have the amp cranked. That's kind of a beautiful thing. So anyway, what have I learned since yesterday? I learned that there's probably a few things that I can do every day, improvisationally, just to get my brain fired up and get my fingers moving on some stuff. I have to teach a little bit later this evening, so getting this stuff done now is a good thing. And actually have some other business going on. Plumber's coming by. There's a leak someplace. That's exciting. He should be here in a couple hours. Yeah, so good times on a Wednesday. And today's coffee is, what is this? It's black coffee. It's San Francisco Coffee Company, I think is the brand. I've been into them for a minute. They make environmentally friendly, compostable coffee pods for a K-style cup coffee maker thing. nondescript is that? I know my shit. But in any case, doesn't have the whole plastic basket with all that stuff. So is less plastic, it's good coffee. Like I said, the whole thing is compostable, so I feel a little bit better doing that kind of stuff. Because sometimes you just want a cup of coffee or two, and you don't want to brew a whole pot. So it's a pretty convenient way to do it and feel like I'm not just filling up a landfill with hundreds, if not thousands, of little plastic baskets of coffee. So hooray to the San Francisco Coffee Company for being so thoughtful on such a thing, to where I can drink my coffee, even if I have 2 cups a day, with a clear conscience and lots of caffeine. Really is good coffee. Comparatively, like, I even prefer the flavor of their coffee to other brands. So it's decent. Especially if I'm not going to grind my own beans and do the whole ritual, which I'm a fan of all of that stuff too. So yeah, obviously was in a little bit of a bluesy rock kind of mood when I got up this morning, but I think that's just virtue of, that's where my JSX was set this morning when I got up. And pardon my arm as I put my coffee somewhere over there. Ooh. Yeah. I like that. Hey, Matt, what's going on, man? Yeah, I am winning. Maybe I shouldn't do overbends first thing in the morning. But anyway, that's where I just turned everything on, and that's what I have. No pedals, just straight into the front of the Crunch channel of the illustrious 2005 PVJSX, which has been my main amp for quite some time. It's a keeper. It's a good one. Everything sounds good through it. Also need to get with Jeff Perkins of Perkins Amplification, good friend of mine. He has my Marshall that he's been doing some work on. I think he's been done with it for a minute, but the whole, world situation, I need to go get that because I have some recording I want to do with that. Speaking of Matt has a track that he sent me several weeks ago now, and I keep picking at it. And this amp sounds pretty good, and my orange sounds pretty good, but I think I want to use my Marshall for it, so I've just been picky. So another good reason to go over and get my Marshall, get it back into recording shape. Also have some things that I'm working on for Dreaded Marco that I definitely want the Marshall back for a bit of that, so that's going to be some fun. So as soon as I get this track done for Matt and Lord Nelson, just throwing down a little guest guitar solo action, I'll let you guys know when that gets all finished up and is available to listen to for your pleasure. Yeah, so we just keep this short and sweet. This is episode 2 of Second Cup with no internet. Definitely hamstringing my day a little bit. Seems like every day when I set up to do a thing, it's funny, I don't know if you guys notice this in your sphere of influence in the world, but it seems to me that if I sit still, it's kind of like the laws of physics, Newtonian laws of physics are at play. Objects at rest tend to stay at rest, and objects at motion tend to stay in motion. And if I sit still, everything is just kind of still. But when I start moving towards things, a whole lot of things start moving as well, which can be a good thing and also a challenging thing as you're making moves to get things done, as I've been struggling a little bit with creativity and just feeling inspired to do stuff. I can get stuff done, and I've been feeling fine mentally. Mentally, I guess I'm always questionable, but like physically, I think my health is pretty good. I've been eating well. Nobody will excuse me of skipping any meals during all of this, but yeah, just thinking about being accountable, being creative, finding my way out of this funk, whatever this funk is. Seems like, there's the adage of, Don't find the guy with all the time on his hands if you need something done. Find the guy who's already busy, because that's the guy who's going to get stuff done, which is why he's so busy. And the people that tend to be not so busy are the ones who don't get anything done. So I've been not very busy with working on music for a minute, which explains why not much has come my way. But as soon as I start deciding I'm going to do all this stuff, it seems like all that energy starts coming back. So I've got several things that can be coming here in the next bit of time. So just looking forward to that, and looking forward to these Second Cup episodes of just making me get a guitar in my hands early in the day before I get distracted with other things like plumbers, which are important, house cleaning, which is important, washing my hands, which is important. But I do want to get my creativity moved to a place of back to the joy of getting it done. I think when we all started this thing, everybody kind of moved in a little bit of, yeah, we'll do all these collaborations and we'll put up a bunch of content. And I think everybody really ran at that, and there's been some really cool stuff up online. I'm starting to see that scroll back a little bit, because I think just a little bit of burnout after a couple months. You know, we were all thinking this was going to be a few weeks, and now it's months. So yeah, so I'm glad I'm glad I did take some time to kind of sit on my heels and think about what I want to do. And tuning my guitar is definitely one of those things. Oh, by the way, this is just a Fender Factory 2008 Strat. I'm not even sure which pickups are in these. Just whatever came with it. It's a good sounding guitar. Definitely sounds like a Strat. I'm thinking about swapping out the pickups. Maybe put a set of whatever Andy Timmons DiMarzios he's using. I forget even which ones he's using, but those that guy always sounds gooder and good. So not that I dislike the sound of these pickups, but I think that might just kick it up a notch into the realm of what I loves about this kind of guitar. So anyway, I think I'll cap it right there. Second Cup, episode 2 in the books. Little bluesy tube amp jam for you this time with no internet. So hopefully we'll have some internet tomorrow. We'll have this resolved, and I'll be able to use my little interface. Though I do have an interface for my phone, so if this happens again tomorrow, I may get cheeky with a little bit of that. So there you go. Cheers, guys. Enjoy your coffee. I know it's probably a little late in the day for some of y'all with your coffee, but en joie. And leave me any comments about anything in the bottom, or whatever, you know, the comment section. I put some stuff in the description of what I'm using. Yeah, Mike, good to see you too, man. You have a good one. If anybody's interested in lessons, send me a message. You too, Matt. Send me a DM, leave me a comment. Curious about anything that I'm playing or anything like that. There's there are links if anybody's into tipping or anything like that during this time, plus links to where you can buy some of my music on iTunes if you'd like to support the cause. And yeah, I'll see you next time for another exciting episode of The Second Cup. Yeah, all right. And then there's always the awkward, this is the only thing about the phone, so now I gotta do all this stuff. All right, see you guys.